All right, we're going to talk about something that I think is a total game changer. It's a mental model that will completely flip the script on how you see rejection. We're going to turn that sting of failure into something predictable, something necessary for your success.
So let me just start by throwing this out there. What if every single no you've ever heard wasn't a roadblock at all? What if it was actually a step forward? I know, it sounds a little crazy, but what if rejection is actually a sign that you're on the right path? That's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
But first, let's be real. Rejection sucks. It just hurts. That feeling when you put your heart and soul into something, a job application, a new project, you name it, only to get shut down? Yeah, it's a universal kind of pain. And it usually starts with just one little message.
You know the one. It might be that email you've been waiting for, and then you see it. 2 words, application denied. Oof.
Then maybe another one comes in, it's a little softer, but it means the exact same thing. Sorry, not a good fit.
And before you know it, there's a third one. We've decided to go in another direction. And pretty soon, these things just start to pile up, and you can really start to feel that weight.
And see, that's the real problem, isn't it? When all those no's stack up, we can't help but internalize them. It stops being about the pitch or the application, and it starts feeling like it's about us. It just feels so personal. It feels like failure.
But what if that feeling, that whole emotional gut punch, is just based on a totally flawed way of looking at things? What if there's another way, a way to turn rejection from this big emotional thing into just a math problem?
And that brings us to this kind of wild idea. Rejection is hardly hard. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds completely nuts based on what we just talked about. But the key here isn't to change the rejection itself. It's to completely change how you define it. So this is the core concept. We're calling it the numbers game. It's a mental model where you just stop treating outcomes as some kind of judgment on who you are. Instead, you start seeing them for what they are, pure statistics. It's all about taking your ego right out of the equation.
And this slide just lays it out so perfectly. Look at the left. That's the emotional view. My pitch was rejected. I'm a failure. It's a dead end, right? But now look at the right side, the mathematical view. That was the 12th no. Statistically, I'm getting closer to a yes. See the difference? One is a personal attack. The other is just collecting data.
You know, the funny thing is, we already do this in one area of our lives without even thinking about it. Job applications. When you're applying for jobs online, you fully expect most of them to go into a black hole. You don't take every single automated rejection email to heart. You just know, deep down, that sending out a ton of applications is the only way to get an interview, because all you need is that one single yes. So the big question is, how do we take that same logic, that job application logic, and start using it in all the other parts of our lives? You know, where rejection feels so much more personal. Well, it all comes down to a simple, practical game plan. It really just breaks down into 4 steps. Step 1, be super clear about your goal. Step 2, set a quota for asks, not for successes. Your job isn't to get a yes. Your job is to make 20 pitches this week. That's it. Step 3, track the data like you're a scientist. How many no's does it take to get to a yes? And finally, number 4, and this is the most important part, you have to deliberately detach your feelings from the outcome. Your goal is the process itself, not the result of any one try. And you know what? When you really start to operate this way, your whole world starts to shift. The word no completely loses its power over you. It actually becomes something else entirely. Just imagine this for a second. Imagine you set out to collect rejections, and you rack up 99 of them. If you're looking at that emotionally, that number is devastating. It's a mountain of failure. It feels totally and completely defeating. But then, you make one more attempt, and you get it. The one yes, the one client, the one job offer, the one acceptance you were looking for. And in that one moment, all those 99 rejections suddenly mean something totally different. They're not failures anymore. They were just the cost of admission to get this one success.
And that's the whole point, right there. When you're playing the numbers game, the no's stop being obstacles that are in your way. They are the way. Every single rejection just becomes another step you had to take on your journey to an inevitable yes.
So I'm going to leave you with this. Stop asking yourself how you can avoid rejection. That's the wrong question. Start asking yourself a much, much better one. How many no's are you willing to go out and collect to get your next incredible yes? The game is on.